Episode 12. Chez Benson, Lieutenant Billy Hurley III. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, buddy. Yeah, good to see you.
Yeah, I can't. It's been a while. Where do you live? Where are you these days? And are you able to golf? Is the COVID-19 affecting your neighborhood like it is mine?
Yeah, we live in Annapolis, Maryland. So outside Washington, D.C., about 45 minutes east of Washington, D.C. And so we're pretty much shut down here in Maryland. Our governor's been pretty aggressive and ahead of some of the measures here in Maryland. So golf courses are closed. Schools are closed like most everywhere else, and just kind of the essential stuff is what you're supposed to be leaving your house for. So I'm doing a little bit of stuff in the basement. I've got a studio, a simulator, and kind of a gym down there. So that's kind of where I'm doing my stuff. For me, I had back surgery in November, so it's there's not much for me to do anyway. I'm not quite full speed and playing golf, so I'm hitting balls maybe every other day and only hitting about 30 balls, and just kind of doing that and trying to get back at it and build the strength back up. So it hasn't really slowed down what I was doing any. It's kind of allowed me to take it a little slower, even in a sense. But
any Canadian courses on your simulator?
I think we've got Glen Abbey. I think we've got Glen Abbey on there.
Okay.
And I haven't looked through the whole database there, but I'm pretty sure Glen Abbey's on there. They do a pretty good job of getting all the tour courses on the simulator stuff.
What's the device you have? Is it Flight Scope or?
I use a TrackMan.
TrackMan, okay.
Yeah, and then I have a screen and a projector and that kind of thing. I went that route when I built a simulator. I went that route just because it's a kind of a 2-in-1, because I can take TrackMan outside, and use it that way, and then I can put it, behind the mat inside and use it that way too. So I felt like I was getting kind of a 2-in-1 as opposed to, building the in-box simulator and just having a static simulator inside. But
we have one at my club, Laval, where I'm the golf professional now, and I use it a lot for like wedge play and stuff like that, just to dial in my wedges before an event. I don't get to play that much. It's a very busy club, but when I know I have an event coming out, I love practicing with the TrackMan, because instead of putting sticks out there like we used to do in the old days.
That's right. Yeah, and you had to walk them off, right? You had to walk them off yourself. Yeah.
Exactly. I walk 50 yards and I'm out of breath, so I love the TrackMan. That's perfect. Who introduced you to the game? And take me through like your junior years and amateur years, and we'll talk about your college career after that.
My dad introduced me to the game. He was actually a good player himself. He played in college himself, and he introduced me to the game really young age. I don't remember it, but I'm told I was 2-3 years old, riding in the golf cart with my dad while he was playing. And my earliest memories of the game are riding in the cart with my dad. Maybe he was playing Saturday morning and I was just along for the ride. And I'd be chipping balls at sprinkler heads on the side of the green while he and his friends were putting out. And, maybe as I got a little older, I'd hit, 2-3 shots around, hit a tee shot off of one of the holes, and then, kept getting older. Maybe I'd play like one hole around, kind of just doing that stuff. And then when I was, 9, 10, 11, like started actually playing a little bit. But really was a baseball player growing up into high school, played a lot more baseball than I did golf growing up. Golf was kind of a summer vacation, with my dad and grandfather. And then my brother, who's a couple years younger than me, he started playing as well, and so we had kind of that rounded out foursome during the summer that would go play. So yeah, like I said, I played a lot of baseball. Turns out I'm better at hitting a golf ball than a baseball, so that's why we kind of went that direction. But played baseball in high school, played golf in high school, and then my junior year of high school, I quit baseball to just focus on golf. I kind of saw the writing on the wall that I was good enough to play college golf, and I was probably just not good enough to play college baseball. And so I decided to focus just on golf for my junior year and senior year. And kind of, was able to make a lot of strides actually in that time as well.
And then you obviously have a very unique college career. Where did you go to college? And obviously I am representing you with my Navy shirt.
There you go.
Well, tell the viewers about your choice and your experience in the U.S. Navy.
Yeah, so I went to the Naval Academy, the United States Naval Academy, for college here in the U.S. And I don't remember telling my parents when I was 13 years old that I wanted to go to the Naval Academy, but that's apparently when it started. I was in 8th grade, and I told my mom I was going to go to the Naval Academy. I do remember getting a tour of the Naval Academy after my freshman year of high school, and that's kind of when it was like, for me, done. That's where I'm going to go to school. That's what I wanted to do, and I just kind of fell in love with the whole place, the whole thing. The Naval Academy was absolutely the right school for me. It's certainly not the right school for everybody, but it was it just fit for me, and that's what I wanted to do. So actually, my junior and senior year of high school, I ended up in most of the junior tournaments I played in. I wore a Navy golf hat, so I was pretty well committed, and so I didn't get approached by any other colleges. I think they kind of knew that they were wasting their time if they tried to recruit me, because I was already pretty well committed to the Naval Academy. So, Naval Academy. I was fortunate enough to play 4 years there. I played every tournament from freshman year to senior year in the starting lineup, and that's was definitely a big formation for me. In a sense, I felt like I got 2 years of competitive experience that a lot of people don't get. If you go and you kind of work your way into the lineup your freshman and sophomore year, and then you play maybe full time your junior and senior year, I was able to play 4 years of tournaments, and so that definitely developed me into a better competitor, a better player, and just had that much more experience through college. But as you alluded to, I didn't go straight to the professional ranks out of college. The Naval Academy incurs a 5-year commitment in the United States Navy, and so I was a service warfare officer for 5 years in the Navy. So service warfare officer means that I was on ships. So I was on a cruiser in Mayport, Florida, which is just outside Jacksonville, and I was on a destroyer in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, and so ended up seeing a lot of Asia, a lot of Southeast Asia. On the ship from Hawaii, we kind of went west from Hawaii for deployments, and did some stuff in the South China Sea, did some stuff in the Persian Gulf and the Red Sea, kind of all the way over even that far towards the Middle East and all that stuff. So that's kind of so I spent 5 years in the Navy, and then got out of the Navy, and then came and tried to play professional golf full time after that.
Take me through your when you turned pro and all that. Do you remember when you and I met for the first time? And then take me through your steps to to becoming a PGATour member.
Well, so I turned pro while I was in the Navy. I turned pro in 2006, and what I was doing at that time was I was basically asking the Navy for to kind of serve in a different capacity, to serve as a public relations kind of person, playing golf and showing the flag, so to speak, and doing recruiting and that kind of thing for the Navy. This is kind of what David Robinson did after he graduated the Naval Academy, and I wasn't accepted into that program. They wrote it for football and basketball players, and they didn't know what to do with the golfer and how that all worked, and so ended up not happening for me. So like I said, I turned pro while I was in the Navy in 2006, but I really didn't get to start playing professionally full time until mid 2009 when I got out of the Navy. So yeah, I got out of the Navy in 2009, summer of 2009, and just started working on it, grinding at it, and getting towards mini tours and that kind of thing. I believe we might have met before this, but I know we played together at Rock Barn.
That's correct.
And I think if I remember right, we played the final round when I won, right?
That's correct. And I finished second.
I finished second
with PGATour player, so it's not too bad.
That's right. Absolutely. What you probably don't know about that, and this is a pretty good story, is that about 2 weeks before that, my wife and I had a serious conversation about quitting golf. It was, we had just kind of started the 2010 season, and golf was hard, and it wasn't kind of coming back to me yet at the rate that I was hoping for. And I'd missed a couple of cuts kind of early in 2010 and just didn't see results and success. And then, so we talked about quitting. We decided not to, showed up at Rock Barn and won the golf tournament. So I appreciate you taking it easy on me. That springboarded up the ranks for me.
That was my very first Hooters Tour event that I've ever played in. I had no idea of the purse. I know, like, the entry fee was pretty hefty because I played the Canadian Tour, so I was just looking for somewhere to play before the Canadian Tour started, late May. And I remember finishing, and I was bummed up. You won, I finished second outright.
Yep.
And I looked at the purse sheet at the scoring tent, like, you made 40 grand, I made 20 grand US, because you add almost 30% to a Canadian, and I was like, oh my God, this is unreal. And then I started looking at like the previous year, like Ted Potter made like $500,000 on that tour, and it was a great tour before, it's sad to say, but before the PGA Tour took over, the PGA Tour Canada now, it's great what they're doing, but they really killed the moneymaker mini tours that we had in the United States. So take me through your obviously after you've gained all the confidence in the world by beating me. Take me through. Did you go numerous times to Q school? How did you get your PGA Tour card?
So yeah, it was that year, 2010, that I got through Q school. I got to the final stage of Q school. For me, kind of Q school was the first time I missed at first stage, the second time I missed at second stage, and then the third time I got through to finals, but I didn't play well at finals, and so I got kind of the conditional low status on what was the Nationwide Tour, now the Korn Ferry Tour. So it was later that year, after we played a bunch on the Hooters Tour there in 2010, when I got status on the Nationwide Tour. And so 2011 I played the Nationwide Tour, now the Korn Ferry Tour, and as the top 25 guys get their card off of that tour to the PGA Tour, and I finished 25th. I entered the Tour Championship, the last the Korn Ferry Tour Championship. I entered in 25th place, and my brother was kind enough to not share this statistic with me, but he told me afterwards that, like, in the last 5 years, nobody who was 25th going in got their card. They all fell out of the top 25 in that tournament. So thankfully he didn't tell me that beforehand, but so I guess I broke the trend there and was able to. I came in 25th, and I think I finished like 13th or 17th or something in the tournament, and then stayed 25th with that finish. So that got me my PGA Tour card, and so my rookie year was 2012 on the PGA Tour.
That's terrific. Now we obviously have to talk about your incredible win, and I remember your win because I was there on 18. I'm sure you don't remember that, but Mark and I, Hubbard, were probably, I don't remember correctly, but we were maybe 4 or 5 groups in front of you. We played with Ricky Fowler that final round at Congressional, and so tell me about your win. And now, how close is that to home? How close is that to the Naval Academy? And because it was kind of in your area, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Congressional Country Club's kind of equidistant from where I grew up in Northern Virginia, just on the west side of DC, and then from where we live now, the Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland, on the east side of DC. So it's kind of almost 45 minutes from each place. So it was, storybook kind of in that way to win, kind of the hometown event. And then at the time, that was the event, and it still is, although it's a little bit different of a tournament. But Quicken Loans had really made that the flagship military event, we'll say. And so they did a lot of stuff around, activation for military members, and they had starters on the first tee were like uniformed service members and that kind of stuff. And so they really kind of hung their hat on doing that for the military and all that kind of thing. So again, for me to win there was kind of, crazy as well. So I mean, it was I played great all week. I mean, obviously to win a golf tournament, but it was kind of a slow Sunday in a sense that it's not like I just came out of the gates. I mean, I had a 2-shot lead starting Sunday, but I think I had a 1-shot lead making the turn, and so it was kind of just, I think I shot 1 under on the front 9 or something like that. It wasn't like special. I mean, it was solid, but it wasn't special, and it was kind of like you're just clinging to this 1-shot lead and wishing you had a 8-shot lead, and
10-11 is no bargain.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of bargains out there at Congressional, no. But 10-11 especially. And a funny story on, so I think, Ernie, I was playing with Ernie Els in the final group, and I think Ernie birdied 8 and 9 and had the tee. I birdied 9 as well, but and Ernie just missed it. You could tell the sound of his, I think he hit a 7-iron on 10, and it was like he just clunked it a little bit, and it came up like 1 yard short, hitting the hill, and rolled back down in the water short of the 10th green, par 3, 10th hole at Congressional. So I was kind of in between 6 and 7-iron, and you can't very well pull a 7-iron after the guy in front of you and just hit it in the water, even though you knew he kind of mishit it. You kind of, but so I got over the ball, and unbeknownst to me, Tiger had showed up, because this was also at the time Tiger was the host of that tournament in DC. Yeah. Now they've moved their tournament to Riviera in LA, but at the time that I won, Tiger was the host of the tournament at Congressional, and unbeknownst to me, he had showed up, right? He was now like on property, and so the fans apparently were seeing him, but I didn't know he was there, and so people started yelling Tiger and that kind of thing. I was like, what are they doing? Like, it didn't really make sense to me. But so I got over the ball, and as I was getting ready to hit, somebody yelled, "Don't chunk it," like super loud. Like, just, and I was like, what the heck? So I backed off and was kind of like, well, that was nice. I was real friendly here, and so then actually, that might be the best 6-iron I've ever hit in my life. And I just hit, probably one of the best swings I've ever made in my life, and hit a perfect 6-iron right over the flag. I hit it too good, because it went about 2 yards too long and missed the tier to roll back. Yeah. It ended up on the back tier. If it was 2 yards shorter, it would have hit kind of in the tier and rolled right back down to the hole. Mm-hmm. But anyway, was able to 2-putt for par, move on. And then again, same thing though. Actually this was even John Rahm's first tournament as a pro, and he was kind of right there in the mix. I actually played with John Thursday and Friday of the week, and obviously an incredibly talented player even back then. You knew he was going to be special, but yeah, he was up in front of me a little bit, and so I think that then Ernie kind of fell off after hitting in the water on 10, and now I had a one-shot lead still, but it was over John Rahm. And then I mean, the shot that kind of changed my career was pitching it in on 15. I drove it in the fairway bunker, and it was in a lip to where I couldn't get it to the green. I couldn't get it over the lip and hit it far enough to get to the green. And 15 super uphill, par 4 from you kind of go way down the hill and then way back up the hill. And so I decided to play it just way left to keep the ball in the fairway. Even if I hit it short at the green, you're going to be in a huge chasm of a bunker short of the green or whatever, and no chance to get it up and down. So I just played it way left up the fairway and actually hit it farther than I thought I could get it over the lip. And if you go back and I went back and watched the tournament, it might have missed that lip by a centimeter. The ball just barely got over the lip, but got over the lip. So so then I had this incredibly tricky pitch. It was about 35, 40 yards and over a hill, down up kind of over the hill, down the green. The green's kind of running away from me from where I was to the pin. And so it was one of those where you're just trying to get it to 6, 8, 10 feet, hope it stops somewhere around the hole, make a putt and make par, cling to a one-shot lead and keep going. And I hit a good pitch, but I had no idea how good it was. And it wasn't going slowly when it hit the pin because it was a tough shot, but it hit the middle of the stick and fell in the hole. And that was the loudest thing I've heard on a golf course. I mean, personally,
I think I remember we were in the 18th fairway when that happened. Yeah, it was, you knew something big happened, but obviously, and then I waited for, knowing you personally, I waited to see the end and all that. And it's just a beautiful setting. The 18th green at Congressional.
Mm-hmm.
It's really awesome. And then, so the trophy ceremony from Tiger, did he say anything to you? Did he, obviously being in the Navy, it cannot be a better fit, for to win his tournament.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that was kind of surreal, I mean, I had met him, I had met Tiger, but I don't know that he remembered meeting me, kind of thing. Right. And, so then you're standing there next to him at the trophy ceremony, and then he, and you're kind of like, what do you do? And this is kind of when he wasn't playing, right? He had just had his second back surgery maybe, or whatever it was, first or second surgery. And so he wasn't playing. He didn't even look that good, just you could tell his back was kind of messed up, and I have an appreciation for that now, having had the same surgery he had, one of the same surgeries he had. I'm going to try and just do it once. No, I don't need 2 or 3 of them if I can help it. But I mean, I don't really remember what was. I mean, I remember asking him. I remember telling him, "Hey, I'd love to get to spend some time with you," and kind of learn, kind of saying I'd love to learn from you, or whatever. And he was like, "Anytime, just let me know," And so I got to play a practice round with him in subsequent years, and that kind of thing. But yeah, it was totally surreal. I mean, I've got one of the things over my shoulder is a picture of me and Tiger holding the trophy that I was able to get Tiger to sign for me. So it's pretty cool.
Very neat. Now, obviously you said the back surgery. How close are you to a recovery? When, we know that golf will restart. We just don't know when, or there is a tentative schedule out, but so when's Billy Hurley making a return back on the PGA Tour? Is it this year, next year?
Yeah, it's a good question. So it will not be in the 2020 season. My goal is January, and if I'm feeling well, if I'm feeling good enough and feel like I'm ready, maybe September. to start the 2021 season. The U.S. Open moving to September gave me a little bit more motivation to maybe try and get back and play that one at Winged Foot in September. But that said, the best thing I can do is be ready when I come back. The best piece of advice I got was that no one's ever come back too late. So many people have come back too early,
yep.
and so just trying to take it slow, make sure I'm ready, not rush it, not re-injure myself by pushing too hard. And so that's all that to say, the goal is January. And if I'm ready, maybe, September or October for part of the fall season, but we'll see.
Very good. Very good. Well, I wish you nothing but the best. I have a couple viewers' questions.
Okay.
One from Victor. Best tip to control in between yardages.
I tend to go with kind of softer shots versus harder shots. Like, I don't try and, sometimes you have to try and squeeze extra yards out of a 7-iron or something to hit it high enough or whatever. But
if it's downwind, for example, you may be
exactly. You can try and get it up in the air so that the wind, you can use the wind a little bit more. But I tend to not hit those as well. Trying to get extra out of something, I tend to not hit it as well as trying to maybe flight it down and control it a little bit more. So I do that by a couple of things. You can always choke on the club a little bit, shorten the shaft, and take some speed out of it that way. Or the main way that I do it is with the follow through. So I shorten my follow through almost so I'll take a full backswing. So when I hit a 3/4 shot, I take a full backswing and a 3/4 length follow through. So that's kind of how I slow the club down, as opposed to taking a 3/4, backswing. And obviously with wedges and stuff, that's different. But with mid irons and stuff like that, I take a full backswing and a shorter follow through to control the speed that way.
Very good. Anne Rogerson, she's a Canadian PGA member. She wants to know, would you be open to a co-sanction event, like a team event between an LPGA and a PGA, kind of like the Zurich, but LPGA, PGA player?
I think that would be cool. I think that it'd be interesting to see how that would play out, especially, it'd be kind of fun, right? I think it'd be kind of fun. Just, you start thinking about alternate shot and different tees and who plays on which hole and all that kind of stuff. I definitely think that would be fun. And I think that, I don't think we're too far away from something like that happening. It might not be, the trouble with that becomes, having it be an official event on both tours and that kind of thing. So it might be more of a made for TV thing coming back, kind of like the Wendy's 3-Tour challenge of back in the day. But I think that you're going to see more integration of the PGA Tour and the LPGA Tour, especially probably coming out of the coronavirus thing.
All right, now you gotta be ready. It's Yogi's rapid fire question.
Okay. I'm gonna try and slow you down. I'm gonna slow play you here.
Other than my swing, obviously, a swing you wish you had.
Oh wow. Tiger's at the best, was amazing. Charles Schwartzel, I think, has hit some of the best shots I've ever seen in person.
Great choice. Worst shot you've ever hit on tour?
Ooh, on tour. I thankfully I don't, and one doesn't come to mind, Johan. Thankfully I don't have one. I can tell you the worst shot I've hit because I whiffed it once in college in a qualifier in a practice round in college.
Like a flat out whiff?
But flat out whiff. It was on the side of a slope. It's not like it was sitting in the middle of the fairway, okay? But it was like a wedge on the face of a bunker, and I just went right under it trying to hit it about 90 yards. But so that's the worst shot I've hit. The worst shot I didn't hit, I guess. But I thankfully I don't remember a worse shot on the PGA Tour.
Do you have one that comes to mind? The worst shot you've ever seen a playing partner hit?
Somebody. Yeah, well, I mean, this is kind of so. I'm going to go with this one, and thankfully I think I'm friendly enough with Davis to tell this story. But a couple years ago, I was playing with Davis Love, and he was hitting it into a par 5. He was hitting like a 2-iron into a par 5, and he topped it. I mean, he just straight topped it. And I remember I turned to my caddy, and I was like, I didn't ever think I'd play golf with Davis Love, let alone watch him top it. You know, like growing up, because growing up, Davis was one of the guys, you know, that I looked up to, you know, and so getting to know Davis and be, you know, friends with him now is something that again, you know, you never thought that was going to happen, and then to kind of see him, I mean, he just topped it. It didn't hurt him. It ended up being a perfect layup shot, but it wasn't what he was looking for.
Your favorite sport team?
Oh, probably the Washington Nationals at this point. You know, obviously World Series champions. You know, I'm not quite a bandwagon guy. I mean, I've been fans for, you know, a couple of years, but obviously that elevated your interest in the franchise. Of course, that's the Montreal Expos, really, though.
That's what I was going to say. That's a knife to all of our hearts, so thank you for that.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Are you more accurate with a gun or a driver?
Probably a driver. Yeah, well, I didn't do a lot of shooting in the Navy. Yeah, I'm a pretty good driver of the golf ball, though. I mean, like,
you are. Yes, you are. Last question. Favorite event on tour?
You have to pick one. That's, I'm going to pull the majors out of it, because obviously those are all special in their own right. And then the Players is obviously very, very special too. So kind of the we'll say normal events or week in and week out events. I'm gonna say Sony, Hawaii. Like I told you earlier, we were stationed in Pearl Harbor, lived in Honolulu for 2 years. So every time we go back to the Sony and go back to Hawaii, it's kind of like going back home in a sense, because we had lived there for a couple of years while I was in the Navy. So that's definitely a special one for us.
I have a funny story about the Sony Open. I rented a scooter one time to kind of go around the island, and I made a wrong turn and ended up on the highway with like a scooter that goes about 30 miles an hour. And I took the exit that brought me to Pearl Harbor. So that's
so you ended up at the gate and getting turned around.
I did.
There you go. Great. That's great.
I just want to get off the highway. Billy, I can't thank you enough. I wish you nothing but the best, and I can't wait to see you back out on tour. And you know, you're the best. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, buddy. See you.
Thanks.